So I have a lot of reasons for taking recordings of this exact table. It's because the evidence of the hijackings of the intellectual property should come from this perspective, more or less. Yeah, there's a reason for that. This is the camera that I use to protect this table. Someone's been going into my Canary account to steal all the provenance records of all of the artwork that I've made for the last 2 years, in order to make sure I don't get any artwork sold. And it's not like you can fake this table either. It's one of a kind these days. Any way you slice it. All of these are books of artworks that were supposed to be delivered in an on-site inspection that never happened. Right now, at this very moment, I pretty much haven't got any food. My life has been saved to date by 10 pounds of rice. And the people who are carefully watching me are monitoring my food consumption. So every time somebody steals a photograph and then picks a fight over its contents, I waste a day. And the purpose of wasting a day is to eat through my resources. Because as long as I have food, I'm going to give you the finger. I'm going to say, I don't have to pay attention to you. Right now, let's see, I've got 1 1/4 canisters of food. So I'm at somewhere like 5 pounds of rice. I have some coffee, I have tea. I can get water from the tap, which means I have just barely enough to survive until such time as a museum curator decides to come here in order for the purpose of acquisition. And goodness knows they have a lot to work with. The only question is whether or not they're going to actually do it. I'm fully aware that the price they want me to pay is to first have sexual contact with somebody. I have my reasons for objecting to this. You see, setting aside the precedent of trying to force me to behave like Kim Kardashian, which I really object to, the reality is, what happens if someone demands that you have physical contact with a man you do not know and have never met in order to be allowed through a door? What if they change their minds afterwards? Because it's not like I haven't had physical contact with people here. I've had physical contact with 2 people here. And for some reason, that didn't seem to count. Anytime you fulfill, well, it wasn't a bargain, because by definition, a bargain requires 2 people to bargain for an exchange. One person has to offer something and then receive consideration in order for there to be an agreement. We haven't even communicated, which means there's no agreement. There's no agreement, there's no contract. There's no contract, I don't have to do a thing I don't want to do. That's simple. So trying to say I indirectly demand sexual contact with you in order to stop smothering you by breaking into your Google account and stealing all the photos in it and then selling it to my friends so that they won't buy your artwork from you, that's a crime. It's called racketeering. I still don't see where I have to do anything I don't want to do. Furthermore, trying to hold me hostage by watching how much food I've got, it's not going to change anything, is it? I mean, worst possible case scenario, you smother me nearly to death. I apply for food stamps. And then what? You keep stealing photos from my account? Because eventually Verizon's gonna, like, stop providing service to this address. You won't hear anything about me anymore, except through satellites. So, really, hovering like you're going to make me have physical contact with a man in order to not be ignored. No. That's not how the future will go. I'm willing to stake my life on it, even if no one tells me what's right outside the door. No one's ever going to treat me fairly. The minute you wrap your mind around that, everything becomes easy.